So we as Minnesota Vikings fans love to piss and moan about things, about times. I mean, it's what we do. We're Vikings fans. All we do is bitch. But it happens because when you haven't had silverware in like 62 years, it kind of weighs on you. But the modern day Vikings fan, like, no one brings out the hate more than Lewis Cine. Right, so first round pick in 2022, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, new GM, analytics guy. He's here, and of course, the trades, from 12 to 32, which we'll get to. Trading in division, not getting the Lions' future first round pick. I know, but love the one you're with. Lewis Cine was a defensive MVP for Georgia, and he came in. He wanted to stack bodies. It was, all right, so we got our next heavy-hitting safety on the back end of that defense, and I truly believe that he was drafted to be the replacement of Harrison Smith down the line. Kwesi's very good in estate planning like that, and the 2022 draft class was supposed to be the first of many HOF that was just going to push this franchise over the top. Right. Now again, yeah, people love to bring up the 2022 class whenever they want a brick to throw at Kwesi, but I mean, Kwesi's allowed to get better on the job. I mean, 2023 class is pretty damn decent with Addison, and also picking up Ivan Pace Jr. Mekhi Blackman's no slouch either. And then 2024, woo. Yeah, it is 2024, right? Anyways, yeah, we'll certainly go ahead and nail things. But 2022, yeah. And I get it. I feel like people were always hard on Lewis Cine because of, hey, we could have had Kyle Hamilton at 12. Hey, Kyle Hamilton, even though he didn't test well, actually he was fine. But Kyle Hamilton's a freaking unicorn, man. Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. Last time we drafted a Notre Dame safety, it worked out pretty damn well. And yeah. All right. So all of that was stacked, pun intended, against Lewis Cine. And of course, he had his injury in London as a rookie, and just sort of is what it is. But he had the comeback season last year, and I don't know, just things haven't really gotten together. Right now, do I think that he's a bust? By the letter of the law, it's hard to say that he's not. But also, there's many different layers of busts. Some players bust because they don't care. Some players bust because they don't have the talent. Some players bust because they got injured. Right? And obviously Lewis Cine injury is a major part of it. But only 10 total defensive snaps over 2 years, 1 tackle. 118 total special team snaps, 0 tackles, 1 missed tackle, and only active in 3 games in 2023. And yes, it became a running joke. Quite often, Lewis Cine was a healthy scratch towards the end of last year, and it just sort of is what it is. But the whole thing about it is like, I do think that he is going to be on the roster bubble this season, and also I think rightfully so. But the whole thing about it is, like, I know that people will give Kwesi poop about it, but would you rather Lewis Cine just remains on the rooster, taking up a spot from someone else who's more deserving just because he was a first-round pick? No. I do think that Kwesi is very quick to admit mistakes and move on for them. And Lewis Cine, even though, like, maybe if he hadn't broken his leg, would have worked out. It's quite possible. But some truths about Lewis Cine. So 32 overall picks. They do have a lower hit rate, right? So it'd be one thing if he was a top 5 pick, which I don't know why are you taking a safety in the top 5. But back end of the first round, a lot of analysts did see him as a early day 2, second round type guy. So yeah, also insert Lamar Jackson and Teddy Bridgewater jokes here, but also yes, number 2, you can't escape the Kyle Hamilton comparisons. Now, if Kyle Hamilton didn't exist, and Lewis Cine just had his career, I think that people would be a lot more lenient. But the fact that the Vikings could have had another All-Pro safety in the stable from Notre Dame, it happens. But hey, if the Vikings didn't make that trade with the Lions, they wouldn't have had the ammunition to trade up for Andrew Booth Jr., or they wouldn't have had the pick for Ed Ingram, and then they also wouldn't have had Brian Osama. But All right. I get it. Number 3, like I said, the rest of the 2022 class hurts them, because it'd be one thing if there was like a couple of nail drivers in this class, but I don't know. Booth hasn't lived up to expectations. Ed Ingram has started and he improved in year 2. Hopefully can make a leap in year 3. Osamon's had injury issues of his own and not getting the time of day. Evans has gotten the time of day, but also had injury issues and got benched 17 different times. Ty Chandler hopefully can rise up. Naylor's had health issues. Tomo is not here. Lowe got traded, and then we'll see about Nick Muse. All right, so overall, that class is not great right now. Also, the safety room was and is stacked because right now you have Beasley, you have Josh Metellus, who's rose up to a Pro Bowl level last year. Harrison Smith has redone his contract twice and will still have a role. And also, 2022 when he came in as a rookie, Beasley was rising up, and he played the most snaps of any player on that defense in 2022. Harrison Smith was still there. Josh Metellus was starting to get a little bit of run, too. So, the Vikings were pretty damn set at safety. Also, you throw in the fact that Theo Jackson has played some phenomenal special teams. Jay Ward, aside from like 2 really bad special teams mistakes, is pretty damn solid there. So, again, it's a question that we've posed a lot. Do you want the Vikings to cut or bench Jay Ward or Theo Jackson or Beasley or Metellus or Harrison Smith just because Lewis Cine was a first-round pick? Like, is that what we're doing here? Or are things playing out based on merit? Which, Lewis Cine, through his injury, number 5, the compound fracture was a major factor. Because I know a lot of people say, well, he was only playing special teams before then. A lot of rookies have to earn their stripes, and it was literally game 4, right? And also the fact that Lewis Cine was dinged up in training camp didn't allow him to climb up the ladder. And also, the way that Beasley and Harrison and eventually Metellus are playing, would Lewis Cine have supplanted them? Remains to be seen. But the compound fracture, I think it is a major factor because even though, yes, he put in that work and was in the rehab and all that stuff and did the damn thing, like you could tell. You could tell, like, the quickness, the speed, which he wasn't really a speed merchant to begin with, but everything was just a quarter step slower. And I don't know if that's physical. I don't know if that's mental. I don't know if that's confidence. I don't know what it is. But you could tell that his career was altered. Like, how could it not be? Like, he was in a foreign country with a bone sticking out of his leg. Don't you think that would have some impact in his athletic endeavors? I don't know. Number 6, like, he was a developmental player to begin with, and his draft profile, Lance Zierlein, average size and plate strength, can improve eye balance and coverage, average body control, flowing to tackle, blah blah blah. Might need more mass as NFL tackler. So he was a guy who needed reps for more experience, as well as he needed to add size. And the whole thing about the compound fractures that. He wasn't able to lift heavy. He wasn't able to add mass to that ass. He wasn't able to get thick, THICC. So basically, he had a year off from the weight program, which is something that he needed to definitely add. And like we said, did that affect him on the field, like in practice, confidence-wise, where obviously things have not worked out with Lewis Cine, but there's a lot of factors other than just decrying, oh, he's a bust, oh, Kwesi sucks, oh, blah, 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 right? But like I said, at the end of the day, by the letter of the law, is he a bust? Yes. Is there a number of factors involved there? Yes. And most of all, like I said, that safety room is stacked. And just because Lewis Cine was a first-round pick doesn't mean that he should get preferential treatment. So I really don't understand what people are arguing, because the Vikings do have the deepest safety room in the league, bar none. And Flores knows that, and Flores has also shown that he don't broke no BS. He's not going to play favorites. Whoever is playing the best is going to play, no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter what your draft status is, and that's something I respect about Flores. But what could have been with Lewis Cine, but it hasn't worked out, and I think that he is a guy that's firmly going to be on the roster bubble coming up in training camp. But that's it. Truth about Lewis Cine. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.